Hey third graders, Mr. Bell here. Alright, let's get to our next project, and that is a 3D mask. That is three-dimensional, and that is a form of a sculpture. And I want you to think about when things are 3D, you can measure 5 inches side to side. You can get a side-to-side measurement, you get an up and down measurement, and you can get a front to back measurement. Alright, so it's got some width, it's got some height, it has some depth. So those three things make it 3D, okay? If you just drew a mask on a sheet of paper, and, if you just drew a mask like this, that would just be 2D. You can measure side to side and up and down. That's just 2D. But we're doing 3D. Something you can actually hold in your hand. Something three-dimensional. Something you can wear. Okay? So I'm going to go through and show you some that I've made so you can get some ideas of how you might want to design yours. Alright? So there's a few. Let me put these in the middle. There's one. And this one's not symmetrical, so the left does not match the right. And that doesn't have to. This one does. So that's something you want to think about. Symmetry or asymmetry. Asymmetry does not match. And here's another one. Here's one that a student made. I've got some that were made by students a long time ago. Students that moved, and they taped some puzzle pieces to the back, added some beads, frayed the edges, made the sun's eyes, did hole punches. And there's another one I made. I'm still going to cut the mouth out, I just haven't gotten to it yet. That one's very symmetrical. And here's one that another student made, camouflage mask. Alright. This one, another student made. My son made this one actually, a long time ago. Just tape this part to the back. Here's another one I made. And another one. I've not added anything to hold it on yet, or any other stuff. And you don't have to add feathers and stuff. You can just do it like this and then add some string so you can keep it on. This one's a tartan plaid design. You can make yours kind of funny if you want to. That's the part that holds it on your head. So this one is, I'm still cutting. I'm going to cut these little, some of this teeth. I'm going to cut the ones with the X inside. I'm going to cut those out. Alright, cold colors on this side, warm colors on this side. This one's more like a robot. And this one's very abstract. Like an abstract jazz mask. That's what I made this one. And you can actually see out of this through that triangle and the rectangle. And this one, there's sequins on popsicle stick, all kinds of neat things you can do. Dots, zigzag lines. It's up to your imagination. You just have to think about what you want your mask to look like. Let's get all this out of the way. And let me show you how you turn a sheet of paper into a mask that pokes out. Okay, so first you're going to need, this is tag board. You can do this on regular paper, but it'll be flimsy. So construction paper and tag board's better, but if all you have is regular paper, then that's fine. And you want to fold this vertically. All right, I would turn it this way. Let's turn it this way. So the folded part's on the bottom and the open part's on the top. Get a pencil and start about here And we're going to do a shape. I want to do this lightly at first. That comes around like this. Alright, there we go. Watch out for the noise. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Kind of looks like a sunset or a sunrise. Alright, but that has to be, the top part has to be where it opens. And this has to be the folded part down here, or it won't work correctly. Keep it folded and cut through both sides simultaneously. Alright, this is trash. And open this up. Now you have the piece of paper you need to make a mask. I'm going to zoom up a little bit. That's better. And I would go to about, find where halfway is and maybe go just a tad bit lower. Put a little dot there. And we're going to go ahead and cut. There you go. And overlap. And I'm going to get rid of that little dot though. I don't want that showing up. So make sure you erase that if you don't want that there. And you can overlap this way, or you can overlap this way. Either way is fine. I'm going to overlap this way. Now, the more you overlap it, the more it protrudes, the more 3D it is. I mean, the sheet of paper is a three-dimensional object anyway. But this just makes it poke out more when you go like this. And it fits onto your face better. So it conforms to your face. So decide how much you want it to stick out. Once you get it where you like it, get your pencil. Very carefully draw a line along that edge. So when you open it up, you have a line right there. You are not going to color or draw inside that area. This is where your glue is going to go later, when you're done drawing and coloring. But let's go ahead and figure out how to find where the eyes go, because they're not going to go as high as you think. They're going to be down a lot lower. So overlap this. Hold it. Flip it around. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold it with my right hand. And I'm going to close one eye, keep the other one open. I'm going to hold it up. And I'm going to very gently push my finger where the eye would be. I'm going to keep my finger in that spot. I'm going to get my pencil, and I'm going to put a little dot. Now, that's about 2 fingers width. I'm going to come over to this side and do the same thing. I'm going to try to line it up so that the distance from the creased part of the paper is the same to the right as it is to the left. So it's even. Now I can draw any shape I want my eyes to be around that dot. That's the very center of where your eye is. So just decide what you want your eyes to look like. I'm going to put sort of a shape like this. Alright. And I'm going to come over here. I'm doing this side different. I am not making mine the same on both sides. I'm making it different. So mine will be asymmetrical. And these are the parts. I'm going to put an X in there. That's where I'm going to cut out, where the eyes are, the part that I want to be able to see through. And you have to be really careful with that. Don't use sharp scissors to do that. You're going to want to use some duller scissors, because you don't want to cut yourself. Alright? I don't want to cut my finger, so I'm going to go through here and cut these eyes. And sometimes I put a little extra piece of paper or something behind there. A lot of times I'll fold a sheet of paper several times, put it behind this, that way. There we go. Get a little bit of a hole going there and cut. Do small little cuts like this. Small little cuts. There we go. All right. Now, you will see that you can see right through, because that's where your eye was after I pushed my finger. And this is the same here because I measured. Now, to make a mouth, if you want a mouth, bend it this way, overlap it like this. You can hold it flat. Now, the middle's really right here, isn't it? Because that lines up with this. So your middle's really right there. So I can do, and I'm going right past that overlap part. There we go. Now I don't need that guideline anymore. I made that little guideline down the center so it matched up with this. I can erase that part now. And this will always match up back where it needs to. Alright. Now for the rest of the mask, I just use my imagination and come up with some neat design. Trace it with marker maybe, color it in with crayon, and I can add stuff if I want to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start designing this. And I will get back to you in just a second. Alright, so I put a bunch of designs on there, and I'm going to work on the teeth. So I'm just going to come across like this, and like this. Put some little lines in there. But I have to overlap it to do this part. Otherwise it won't match up correctly. There we go. Now I'm ready to start coloring. So I'm going to start thinking about what colors I want to use and start tracing. Alright, so I decided I wanted to trace all my lines with a black marker. Now I'm going to come in and color in with crayons. Fill the space in. Alright, so I have it all colored in, and now it is time to glue this down. So, I'll put my dots of glue on here. Don't want to get it too close to any edges. Be careful, go near the edge, but not right on the edge. There we go, get a couple dots in there. That ought to do. And bend it out like this, overlap it. And make sure the mouth matches. And now just flip it over and hold it down. You're going to have to hold it down for a while, a couple of minutes. It's not going to stick right away. Okay, but every once in a while, flip it up. Make sure that you did match it up good. Alright, that's good. Now I'm going to go back and just push down and hold it for a while. Alright, so it's sticking. It's not coming apart. Now it's time to trim this part off. Bottom. There we go. That trash over here. Now it's clean across the bottom. Now it's time to figure out where to put the pipe cleaners in, or string, or whatever you're going to use. I like to use a hole puncher. And what I do is this. Look down at me. And see your finger where your ear is. And come across like this. Make sure you keep that little area known. I'm going to put a little dot right there. And when you put the hole in it, don't put it right near the edge. It's just going to rip when you tie it. You got to go in a little bit. Now I'm going to look across to this side and try to get it in the same place. You can use a pencil to do that if you'd rather. It's kind of a guessing game. Be about there. Double check. Be a little bit lower. Alright. And get my hole punch. Alright, close enough. Now it's time for the pipe cleaners. Put it through, bend it, twist it on. Same thing for the other side. And there you go, they're both on. Put it on like this and tie it on the back. Alright? If there's any other stuff you want to add, like feathers and whatnot, that is totally up to you. You staple them on, tie them on, tape them on, whatever you can, okay? Have a good time with this. See you later. Can't wait to see yours.